Welcome back to Timeout with J and G. I am Jay over here, and it's G over there.
Yo, what is going on, everyone?
And I would like to apologize for no episode on Wednesday. We actually recorded an episode. We recorded our first we used video. We had us on the screen using YouTube Live and all that kind of stuff. And then YouTube was being really, really dumb and wouldn't let me download it. It was being super dumb. So instead of just rehashing the same exact thing we just did, we were like, we'll just wait till Saturday. They'll have to do without a video for Wednesday. It is what it is. We just kind of went through and graded every team's off season, this past season for the moves they made in the off season and then trade deadline, and kind of just graded them how they worked out through the season. But it is what it is. We actually decided we'll just wait, and then on Saturday we'll do our big Timeout with J&G award show. Then we were all both busy yesterday. So we are now recording this on Sunday. So I know it's been over a week now since you guys have had your last episode, and I do, like I said, we both apologize for that. Just things happen. It is what it is. But we are here on Sunday.
Go ahead. It was just building excitement for the next episode.
That's right. We were just getting excited. I just got off my live stream I did for the Patriots all season. Under Levi was in that. It was a great stream.
Yes, it was.
So go check out Cloud 2K. Go look at the Patriots Dynasty series. Got a video coming out Tuesday as well. It's going to be basketball related. But yeah, we'll get through all that. Levi, you want to go ahead and shout out your YouTube channel while we're here?
I'm Garbage Gamer. I'm doing a Super Bowl run challenge right now. Don't know when I'm gonna have the next episode posted, but hopefully it's soon. I believe in the last one is Paul and I did it, and you got to go find out if we broke our 2-game losing streak as a duo in videos.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys got to go check that out, and hope you guys enjoy it.
For sure. So we have the awards here. We have everything: MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved, Coach of the Year, and Clutch Player of the Year. The way I did it is I just kind of gave our winner, but we can also talk about the guys that came in second and third, and just kind of give some other people talk about that and just kind of do it that way. You have anything you want to talk about before we get into this?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, we can pretty much just get right into all of it.
Okay, so how do you want to do? Do you want to start with the big awards and move down, or start with the lower awards and work up to the MVP?
We can start with the lower awards and kind of climb our way up.
Okay. So for in my opinion, I think the least important award is Clutch Player of the Year. It's a new award. It's I think this is only the second year of it, so it's still kind of catching on. This is one of those awards where basically I pretty much only went off statistics. It's one of these awards that's how do you perform in clutch time and stuff like that. So my winner is DeMar DeRozan. My reasoning is the Bulls have played 39 clutch games this season, considered clutch games, and they are 24-15 in that time span, and he averages the most points in the league in clutch time.
Damn.
So they play the most and he scores the most. He probably scores the most because they play the most. But they just I figure statistically wise they're consistently in that scenario, and he puts up points.
Yeah, and I mean, as we've seen through history, DeMar is a dog when it comes to crunch time. People don't really talk about it a whole lot because they bring up like LeBron, Steph, some of these other guys. DeMar is silently. Low key, he's a killer. Let's be honest here.
Do you remember? I think it was the last day of 2022. I think the first day of 2023, he hit back-to-back game winners. Last day of the year, first day of the year. It was something like that.
He has that dog in him.
Yeah, man. He just. But yeah, no, he's my clutch player of the year. Who do you have?
I have DeMar.
Okay. Yeah, so I figured. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty easy. Just kind of wanted to get that up there. Shout out DeMar DeRozan. That's awesome. Next. We'll move on to Coach of the Year. Do you want to start with yours this one?
I can. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. It's Mark from OKC.
Yeah, Mark Dayton Hall.
Yeah, Mark Dayton Hall. I mean, OKC, I think last year was barely in the play-in or something like that. They didn't have much of a chance. And now we turn around and they're fighting for the 1 seed.
Yeah, they're in a 3-way tie for the 1 seed right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, I believe today's the last row of games.
It is.
It could decide. I know on the west side, depending on what goes on, OKC could be 3 or OKC could be 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting for the last day. And
They're playing the Mavericks
think,
today.
Okay.
The Timberwolves are playing the Suns.
Okay.
And then the Nuggets are playing the Grizzlies. So the Nuggets are probably going to win that game.
I'm going to be honest, all 3 of the teams are probably going to win, and we're going to be sitting right where we were.
Yeah.
Before. But yeah, Mark has done a great job with that team and getting young players in, coaching them up.
Yeah, no, Mark Danton is my coach of the year as well. Kind of like you said, I think they were the 9th or 10th seed last year, and they're up at the 1 seed right now. A lot of it has to do with like Shea really getting into an MVP type season. Jay does been fantastic this season. Chet Holmgren playing this year has been fantastic. But honestly, let's be real. Like I said, they don't just go from a 10 seed to a 1 seed like that overnight. You know what I mean? Mark Danton has been fantastic for him this season. Do you have any other people that you were like kind of considering?
I think it's Jamal Mosley from Orlando.
Yeah. That was definitely a good one.
He's up there too. I mean, if you look at this Magic team like 3 years ago, we wouldn't be looking at them as a possible 3 or 4 seed. Can they get the 3 seed?
Right now, no. They're 3 seeds behind. They're 3 games behind the Knicks. They're actually stuck at the 5 seed. They could actually drop to the 7th. Oh.
Yeah, but looking at this Orlando team, nobody expected, let's be honest here, for everything to come together like it has. He's just been doing a really good job, especially with a younger team. Similar to like OKC, but OKC has just been a dog this year.
Yeah. And then, of course, I think just because of the best team in the league, Joe Mazzulla, they're by far pretty much the best team in the league. Honestly, they're 63-18, and the next best team, the 3 teams have 56 wins. They're just far and away the best team in the league, and of course, he deserves credit for that.
Yep. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I could talk all day about Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics, and I know everyone doesn't want to hear me rant on about it. So yeah.
No, that's okay. It's kind of the point. It's we got to give flowers to people that deserve their flowers. Okay, sorry, I'm eating lunch. I just got off that stream. I'm kind of hungry. Next, we're going to move on to most improved player, and I know there's a couple people in this one, but let me hear who you have winning most improved.
Tyrese Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we seen him last year. He played pretty good, but he was obviously behind Harden and Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
This year was like his true like first season to like take the reins, quote unquote, especially when Embiid went down with that injury.
Mm-hmm.
To take the reins and go forward, the reins and move forward, and he did that. I mean, obviously they didn't have the success they would have had if Embiid was there, but he tried his damnedest to keep this team afloat, and I think he did a pretty good job, especially considering they could possibly, I believe, get the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
The maybe the 6, maybe even 5. I'm not 100% sure about the standings right now, but he's been balling this season.
Yeah, no, no, go ahead. Go finish up.
And a lot of it has to do with I would give, I shouldn't say all the credit, but having Harden there last season, I think helped progress him for this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's one of the best players in the league. Well, maybe not at this point in time in his career, but like in the past season, I mean, Harden's been an MVP. He's been one of the best in the league, so it's definitely got to learn behind. I also had Tyrese Maxey. I mean, we'll look at it here. He's went up from 20 points to about 26, 2.9 rebounds to 3.7, and then 3.5 assists to almost 6.5 assists. It's 6 points, a rebound, and 3 assists. He went up, and like you said, for a majority of the season, he's been the number one option for this Philadelphia team. He's really, made a case to be an all-star. I remember maybe even up to last season, he was kind of in the range of like Tyler Hero, kind of stuff like that comparisons. Now he's up as one of the best guards in the East. He made a massive, massive jump this season. And, I really, for a good part of the season, I was pushing for Kobe White to win this award. But the last month, he's been kind of on a downturn. And that's like the worst possible time to get on a downturn is right before the end of the season because recency bias is everything in sports and media.
Yep.
So him having this down month right as the season's ending lost him the award, and which sucks because Kobe White's been great this season. And like I said, I just wanted to shout out Kobe White because he's been great. He's maybe turn himself into the starting point guard of that Bulls team going forward, which is great for them. But yeah, Tyrese Maxey is definitely my guy.
Yeah, I mean, even then I have Kobe White at 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kobe White's been playing good this season. It's just I think that given the situation that Maxey was put into, especially once Embiid went down and
that was
like All-Star break?
No, that was before that. It was January, wasn't it?
It might have been, but like he played a good amount of this season without that true other player. You know what I mean? Like they had rotational pieces, they had pieces that come in, but they didn't have that other superstar, and Maxey had to step up.
Yeah, 100%. It might have been around the All-Star break because because we started this back up around like right before the All-Star break, and he had that 73-point game.
Yep.
So it was. You're right. It was around the All-Star break. I don't remember if it was before or after, but either way, yeah.
I mean, I want to give flowers to Kobe White because he's been playing really, really good, and he's probably the point guard of the future on this Bulls team, and I'm excited for that. It's just if Bull management can get their heads out of their asses and actually do something, and not waste talent.
Yeah, the Bulls do have a tendency of not knowing which direction they want to go in, and that could definitely hurt his development. But
I was gonna throw a jag, but I'm not going to.
This guy's the number 1 team in the league, and he thinks you just start shitting on all the other teams now, huh?
No, I was gonna make a comparison to the NFL, but I don't want to do you like that.
All right, buddy. Next, we're kind of flying through this, so maybe we want to talk about these a little bit more because like I said, we're already like halfway through. 6th man of the year. I have 2 players, 1 player that won it, and 1 player that deserves an honorable mention. Do you want me to start, or do you want to give yours?
Go ahead.
My first, but the guy I have winning is Malik Monk.
Okay.
My honorable mention is Naz Reid.
Okay.
I think Malik Monk is averaging 15.5 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists off the bench. Unfortunately, he's been hurt the past week or 2, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I think he's out for the rest of the season, or at least into the playoffs. But he played 72 games this year. So pretty much the only time he has missed has been this recent stretch.
Yeah.
He's been on the court all season. He's been the firepower off the bench that the Kings have needed because with Kevin Huerter being out, obviously they just weren't as good of a team this year as they were last year. He could score from all 3 levels. His playmaking's went up this year. Hell, these past 2 years in Sacramento have been his career highs in assists with 3.9 last year and 5.1 this year.
Damn.
So you're getting a team that really doesn't have their true backup point guard. Malik Monk has stepped in and kind of filled the role a little bit. Like he's a score-first guard still. But if you can get Malik Monk to, 5 assists for your 6th man of the year as a shooting guard, you know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's actually fantastic because then he can transition more to a combo guard role. And this be a guy that obviously, I think he's better suited for you, playing on the bench. But, this guy could be a starter. Then it's do you want him to be a starter, though? And the reason I say that, it's no slight to Malik Monk at all. But, Malik Monk is probably winning 6th man of the year. If he becomes a starter, he goes on a very long list of just average starters.
Yeah.
And I think his role is would you rather be 6th man of the year every year or just a middle of the pack starting shooting guard? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of don't really want to make the comparison, but it's kind of like Lou Will.
Yeah, it's you have the
role. He went on a stretch.
Yeah, exactly. He has his role, and I think he excels in that role, and I think that's what he obviously for his sake, he might want the bag, he might want to be a starter, and that's completely fine. But I think his role is so solidified as one of the best 6 men in this league that
I mean, I have Malik Monk at 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I have him at 2 is because I have Naz Reid at 1.
Okay. I liked it. I like it. We don't have everything the same.
The reason is because the 6th man off the bench is supposed to be the next guy up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when Cad went down with that injury, Naz Reid stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me he didn't. He stepped up and he played amazing.
He did.
In the absence of Cat. Now, obviously, Cat's going to be coming back for the playoffs, so he's going to slide back into that 6-man role. But Nas Reed came out and proved that he can score and he can ball at a high level, whether it's filling in for someone that's injured or just straight up being the sixth man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that's probably hurting the case, but what we've seen from him when Cat went down shows that you have to take him seriously, more seriously than ever now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
In the 14 games that Nas Reed started the season, he averaged 17.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.1 assists.
Yeah, I mean, that's aside from like the points being down, that's pretty much what Cat was doing. He's going out there grabbing rebounds and scoring, and I don't really want to compare the two because
for sure.
Cat is one of the best big men in the game, but you're getting that out of your backup power forward / center, who was then forced to start.
Mm-hmm. And hell, he had a 30-piece against the Lakers. Don't forget that too when he was starting.
Yeah,
31-piece. Yep.
Yeah, and he shoots the three ball phenomenally.
Yeah. Let's see if I can.
And I mean, it's just, I don't know. Malik Monk, I got to agree with you in the whole 9 yards, but I feel like this is a two-man race for one.
Oh, real quick. Nas Reed is shooting 41.8% on 5 attempts per game from 3, which is crazy for a big man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm pulling for Nas Reed, but this is a two-man race, and I could see either one of them winning, and I would be happy if either one of them won it.
See, I think we could even be looking at a similar situation to what we just said about most improved. With Malik Monk missing this back half, like this back last stretch of the season, Nas Reed, recency bias makes it seem like he doesn't deserve it, but like the voters could look at Nas Reed and be like, "Oh, you haven't seen Malik Monk play in a couple weeks. Nas Reed gets it." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's 100% something that can happen, and I wouldn't be upset. No, I think you're right. I think it's between Malik Monk and Nas Reed right now, and they've both. Malik Monk has done his thing off the bench. Nas Reed has been great off the bench and then stepped up when he needed to step up and been a great starter. So, I mean, you know what? I think these guys are damn near neck and neck, and I like that we both picked a different one. That way we, give fair representation to that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like this is not like the depoy, which we'll get into later.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a neck and neck race. This is a two-man race.
Mm-hmm.
And I love seeing stuff like this because it's like, okay, well, what is the committee or whoever's voting? What are they gonna think?
Yep. You
know what I mean? And I wish both of them could win it, but that's just the reality of it. One of them's gonna win and one of them's gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say lose, but get second place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what it is. They're gonna lose it, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
Next, I feel like this is consensus rookie of the year. I mean, I the first month or two of the season, there were some conversations, but since then, I think it's pretty consensus who's winning this.
Nah, for the podcast purposes, I think Chet Holmgren should get it.
That's right. Yeah, no. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, rookie of the year.
I mean, unbelievable. In all facets of the game, too.
I have a crazy stat here. Ready for this?
Ready.
He's not playing the last game of the season because of his ankle. They're just giving him the night off. So his season's over. He is the only player in NBA history with 1,500 points, 250 blocks, and 100-plus three-pointers in a single season.
Wow.
And I have it here. This is from Spurs Culture. He had 1,522 points, 755 rebounds, 274 assists, 254 blocks, and 128 three-pointers. And get this, one more.
What?
Wemby averages 3.6 blocks per game, which as a rookie is nuts. The entire Heat team averages 3.4. And that's with Bam Adebayo. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, I can go on and on with all these accomplishments he's done. Wow, man, this is nuts.
I mean, I know there was a push for him getting Depoy, for the Depoy Award. I was one of them people.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was just playing at an unbelievable level. Now, I don't know the whole, like they said about the games being eligible for awards and this and that. Does that fall into like the MVP and stuff like that?
I'm sorry, I was reading something. What was that?
You know how they said for the load management you have to play like 66 games or
65,
whatever?
Yeah.
65 games. Does that fall in for Rookie of the Year too?
I think it's everything except for what does it? I know there's a couple things it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I just know that they put it in for like the the All NBA teams. I think the like the MVP depoy and stuff like that.
Okay, let's see here.
Because I'm not too sure what all fits into that threshold.
Yeah, okay, come on. This thing's being stupid. Okay, explain the NBA's new 65. Because I know it's like I think it's all the major awards.
Okay.
Let's see here. 65. What awards? The MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, and the All NBA teams and All Defensive teams. Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and all rookie teams are not impacted.
Okay. The reason I asked that. Okay, never mind. Victor played 71 games then.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had enough.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it was close. I didn't know if it was enough, and that's the reason why we couldn't give him depoy. But I mean, Victor, this is probably one of the best rookie seasons from arguably one of the best prospects we've seen in our lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, I let's be honest. If we go back to before he was drafted, and you're one of them, but I'm not calling you out in this. I'm just saying in general. It's like a lot of people are like, "Dude, this guy's gonna be bust." And obviously, it's only been one season, so it's like we can't go too crazy on the other side now that like it's gonna be the GOAT because it's only been one season. But I think even people that were like Wemby truthers, this has blown their expectations away.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like you said it, I was one of the people. I'm just like I shouldn't say I wanted him to be a bust or thought he was gonna be a bust. My whole thing was just the weight, and obviously he just proved that does not matter.
He plays the entire. He can score from anywhere on the court.
Yeah,
I mean that really helps with the size.
Yeah, and I just didn't think that he was going to be as good as everyone proclaimed him to be. But now I'm blown away. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, dude. I know we talked about it the other day, but like he had that move, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It was like a week ago, where he got the ball coming up the court. He got past half court, hit a sham god behind, like spin move behind the half spin, and then went up for like he went to do like one of those scoop layups where he like come up from under the rim and throw it up, but then he dunked it. He did a scoop dunk. It's like this dude's 7'5" with handles of somebody that's 6'5". You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I mean, we've seen how impactful and how dominant Kevin Durant's been as a scorer this entire career, and he's basically 7 foot tall. Now add 5 more inches to the guy, and you have Wemby.
Yeah.
There's going to be nobody in this league that can step up and actually impact his shot. Like, if he's taking a jump shot, who in the NBA is going to be able to step up and actually make a difference on that shot?
Luke Cornett with the Cornett contest.
Where he jumps in front of the rim. Hell, yeah. Wemby can probably see the rim over top of Cornett. And then here's there's a tweet here from Wemby Muse, which is kind of funny. And it says, as much as it sucks that Wemby isn't playing today, a 34-point game to come back down 23 versus the champs, which is the Nuggets, at home, including a game winner, is about as good of a way to end it as anyone could ask for. I mean, like, even his last game of his season was fucking fantastic where they took down the Nuggets. And he had a big game. Like even to the last game of the season, he is still doing crazy things.
I'm telling you, they get a good point guard in there like a Trae Young in the offseason. This team is going to, in the next 3 years, this team is going to be very, very deadly.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I can't wait.
I don't know if you saw, but during a game last night, he scored 17 points in 3 minutes.
What?
That is like when T-Mac went on that crazy run for like that minute or two. Like that is like historic levels. 17 points. I'm not even doing that in my career on 2K.
But that's gotta be like in an insane pace too. Like they gotta have been getting good defensive stops early in the clock.
Yeah. It's just, and they released his logo. And it's like the alien head. That's super sick.
You might as well just rebrand the entire league from Jerry West being the logo to Wemby. Just make the NBA logo an alien.
Oh boy! And then there's also this thing here that I'm glad we're spending a little bit more time on Rookie of the Year because we think he deserves all the flowers. Comparing Wemby's rookie season to LeBron's rookie season. Okay.
Okay.
Wemby, 21.4 points per game. LeBron 20.9. Wemby 10.6 rebounds per game. LeBron 5. Wemby 4 assists per game. LeBron 6. Wemby 3.6 blocks. LeBron 0.7. Wemby 1.2 steals. LeBron 1.6. Wemby 46% from the floor. LeBron 41%. Wemby 32.5% from 3. LeBron 29. Wemby took 5.5 3-pointers per game. LeBron took 2.7. Wemby shot about 80% from the free throw line. LeBron shot 75, and Wemby did it playing only 29 minutes a game, where LeBron played 39. That makes even more. Look at these stats, and he only played 29 minutes a game.
That's absurd.
I mean, he's literally doing, like I read earlier, he's the only player with like 1,500 points, however many like blocks and 3-pointers. He's the only player to do that in NBA history, and he's playing less than 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
What like you imagine this guy when he gets to play 36 minutes a game?
It's going to be absurd. I mean, people get it better get ready because we're going to have voter fatigue for the MVP and for the DPOY.
Yeah.
I mean, he might win them both.
I'm just reading through tweets, and somebody said, "Can't wait for the Wemby discord in year 5. It's going to be like, yeah, he averaged 35, 15, 10, and 6, but what about his rings?" That might actually, I think we might get to the point with Wemby where it's like, obviously we're expecting him to win rings. He plays for the Spurs and he's generational talent, but
yep.
He's like Luka. We talk about Luka now averaging like 34, 10, and 10. And it's like, okay, that's just Luka. You know what I mean? We kind of come to expect it from Luka now. Wemby is going to take that to an even different level.
Now, let me ask you this. By the end of his career, do you think Wemby can average a 40-piece for a season?
For a season? That's going to be tough.
Or how high do you over 35?
I cannot say 40. That seems like real. Like nobody ever in history has. Maybe Wilt did it, but that's whatever.
That I think he averaged 50 in the season one time.
Yeah, so it's like whatever. But like the best we've seen in modern history is James Harden, and that was like what 30. That was 35 plus, wasn't it?
Embiid for this season through the first 30-something games, I think it was. He was averaging 35.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I know it was. 2018, 2019, James Harden averaged 36 points per game. And that's the most I've seen him with my 2 eyes.
Do you think Wemby can get to that 40 mark, though?
I don't think he can get to 40. I don't want to say it's not possible, but I don't see him getting to 40.
Do you think it's going to stay around that 36, 35, 36?
We might not even see that. We might see – I think at Wemby's peak, it might only be 32, 33.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be 14, 15 rebounds, 7, 8 assists. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have such a hard time saying – because even James Harden only did it one time, and he had the ball in his hands 99% of the time on offense.
Wouldn't it be wild if we seen the first 40, 20, 10 average? That would be wild. I don't think it's going to happen, but could you imagine if Wemby comes out in 3 years from now and he's averaging 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists?
That
would be absurd, but I mean, that is honestly a possibility once he starts playing, 35, 36 minutes a game.
It's crazy. We kind of see so Jordan. So we had players like Magic and Bird that kind of really sent the NBA to the next level in popularity and stuff like that. And they're 2 of the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end of their career, we saw this kid Michael Jordan get drafted, become arguably the greatest player of all time. During the back end of his career, we saw this kid Kobe Bryant get drafted, become arguably one of the greatest of all time, top 10, you know what I mean? Top 5, however you see him.
Yeah.
And then to the good, not even midpoint, but during his, the end of, the actual end of Michael Jordan's career and kind of in the middle of Kobe Bryant's career, we see this guy, LeBron James, get drafted to be arguably one of the greatest of all time. Now at the end of LeBron's career, we're seeing this guy, Wemby, get drafted, who could maybe be that next in line of one of the greatest of all time.
It's just a weird coincidence.
And I don't even want to get past Obviously, Steph Curry's in there. Obviously, we have to worry about. I don't want to say worry. Luka Doncic could be one of those guys, and
Yeah.
by the end of his career, it's like I, for one, like the past year or two, I've been kind of like thinking about it. Who is going to be the face of the NBA once LeBron, KD, and Curry retire? Because those guys are like the poster men for the NBA. Like when you think of the NBA, you're thinking of LeBron, Steph Curry. Like those are the names. But like when those guys retire, who's going to take over being the face?
It's got to be someone who wants it and is open to having their life seen in. Like I've heard people say about Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum, you don't see much of his personal life except for when he's with Deuce.
And I just don't think Jason Tatum's one of the best players in the league. He's great, but he doesn't seem to really have the personality to carry the face of the league either.
Yeah, and then you also look at people who said, like Luka, SGA,
Anthony Edwards,
and obviously at this point, Wembanyama.
Yeah, and I mean the only thing, like Anthony Edwards has the personality to be the face of the league.
It's just a matter if he wants it.
That, and I think the problem, he's not on the same level as Luka, LeBron. He's not. He has a step to take to get to that level. Yeah. But I think once he hits that superstardom, he very well could be the face of the league because he has the personality to match it. The only thing that comes with people like Luka, comes with people like Anthony Edwards, is that sometimes they are very, very outspoken against the NBA and the officials. And I don't know if the NBA is going to want to push that as their face of the league, knowing those guys complain about them.
I think if I had to pick like 3 players for the NBA to prop up and kind of say, like they did with Curry, KD, and LeBron, Wemby, Luka, and SGA.
SGA could definitely be it too.
I think it's those 3 that are gonna be the quote unquote like the poster boys for the NBA in the next couple years.
I could definitely, yeah.
When LeBron, KD, and Steph all retire, because I mean, theoretically, we're within 3 to 5 years, maybe even sooner, of them retiring. And I mean, no, I don't mean to depress you, Paul, but
it's crazy to think about.
It is, because we grew up. When I started watching basketball in the mid 2010s, you had LeBron, Dwayne Wade, KD was balling out. Then later on, I shouldn't say later on, but you had Russ, you had Harden. You know what I mean? You had all these guys through the mid to late 2010s when I really started watching. And then now it's kind of just like, damn, Chris Paul, KD, LeBron, Steph. Probably a couple of them more than I'm just blanking off the top of my head. They're all going to retire. And those are the ones that I kind of, grew up watching it, and it's sad.
I started watching the NBA, really, of course I've always seen, really started paying attention to the NBA the last season LeBron was in Cleveland before he went to Miami.
Okay.
So LeBron, obviously at that point in time, was in the prime of his career. But guys like Curry, KD, Westbrook, Harden, Steph Curry, or I might have already said, guys like that were young players in the league. So it's it feels weird watching, seeing them as young guys that you never, guys like KD, Russell Westbrook, you kind of knew these guys would be great. People like Steph Curry, we didn't know how great he was going to be.
Yeah.
Then see them blossom into the absolute superstars they have. It's same with James Harden. Blossom into these superstars, and then now are on the downtick of their careers, where they're still great players, but they're obviously just not for probably a 10 to 15 year stretch. LeBron was basically the consensus best player in the league. He might not have won MVP every year, but you're what? LeBron is that guy. Now it's some people might have him outside the top 10. Yeah. And it's just kind of and I can't see it wrong, can't see it right, because I think it depends on the night, honestly. I think LeBron can still be a top 10 player in the league. I just think he's 40. He shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that he's even in the conversations at 40 is mind-blowing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be tough to see those guys retire. Kobe Bryant was one of the biggest ones that when Kobe Bryant retired, it was damn. You know what I mean?
And then it hit even harder when he passed away.
Yeah, exactly. But it's with Kobe though, I really only got to watch the last 6-7 years of his career in depth because, like I said, he was drafted before we were both born. They went on those three-peats while we were being born. So it's we didn't get to see like in real time the prime of Kobe's career. We just got to see like the twilight part of it, which he was still a great player.
Oh yeah.
And Kobe Bryant was stuff. So people that we've watched their entire careers, it's gonna hit hard.
Dude, I can even remember the 3-1 comeback.
Mm-hmm.
That was something like in school, bro. That was about all you were talking about.
Dude, the block on the LeBron block on Iguodala.
Yeah.
Like it was just that was like, yeah. And then, but to go back to bring this back into Rookie of the Year, it makes it easier to transition past these players we grew up with because, like you said, we have Luka, Wemby, SGA, Anthony Edwards, even like guys like Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Jokic. Like we have these guys, Giannis, that are like still in their like mid to late 20s, some in the early 20s, where it's like these guys are gonna be great for another 5 to 10 years. We have time with these guys, and it just makes it better when we have people to look forward to.
Yeah, basically the league is in good hands.
It is. It really, really is. And you know, we're not. I don't think we're gonna have a guy like LeBron in the league for a while. But it's like we'll be able to move on. We'll be able to deal with it. We did it with Tom Brady. I mean, I remember when Tom Brady retired. I'm like, how is the league gonna be the same? Yeah, that's one of the greatest of all time. If not the greatest of all time, retiring. And you know what? Last season, obviously, you could tell Tom Brady wasn't there, but the season still went on as normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, like, even then, you can attest to this. We grew up with Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers still playing, but in the twilight of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Roethlisberger, Tony Romo.
Oh, Tony.
There's probably a couple I'm blanking on right now, but those were the quarterbacks that we grew up watching.
Eli Manning. Yeah. Philip Rivers.
Past,
you might have said him. I don't know.
No, I didn't. Philip Rivers. He was a chucker, bro.
So is Tony. I love Tony, but he kind of got that way too.
Andy Dalton. Even though
all right. Now
hey, people forget about how good Andy actually was.
He had a couple good seasons. Jay Cutler.
With the Bengals. Yeah. That man is just a menace to society, to be honest.
Hell yeah.
But we went through that stage where those were the quarterbacks that we watched, and then they've slowly just started going, and Manning retired. You know, Peyton and Eli both retired. Breeze retired, and they just started dwindling off to now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only ones that are really left are like Andy Dalton, if he's still playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if he's even on the team anymore.
It's kind of we're in the NBA. We're about to go through the same thing as what we went with quarterbacks in the NFL,
mm-hmm.
and it's gonna move on. But it's just sad to watch.
It's how it goes. Yeah.
But back in to the Rookie of the Year race, Wembanyama's number 1.
100%. It's not even. It's not even close.
I don't know about you, but my third, because Chet is obviously 2.
Mm-hmm.
But my third is Brandon Miller.
Yes, my third is Brandon Miller as well. Real quick, we'll talk about Chet. Been an anchor of a really, really good defense. He's like, I think if Chet played last year as a rookie, he would have walked away with Rookie of the Year easily.
Probably, yeah.
He's been great this year, and I'm assuming he would have been the same way last. Maybe having that year off helped his body kind of adjust, and you know what I mean. But like, if he would have been playing this way last year, he would have walked away with Rookie of the Year. He's been fantastic. It's just like, unfortunately, he's playing with Wemby in his rookie year.
It was like every other year, Holmgren gets that award. It's just that this was the year that we had an alien come into the league.
Yeah.
And just absolutely dominate.
Yeah, you're pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Miller, he's helped this. He has given youth to the Charlotte's team with LaMelo being out.
Mm-hmm. He's averaging a little over 17 points a game, a little over 4 rebounds and 2.5 assists. He played 74 games this year. And 75 if he plays tonight, I guess. I don't know if he's playing today. But like the first little bit of the season, he was kind of struggling. People were like, going into the draft, people were debating that the Charlotte Hornets should take Scoot Henderson at 2 and not Brandon Miller because of obviously he had that stuff going on in college right before the draft. Charlotte made the right pick, 100%. I think they take Brandon Miller again 100 times out of 100. He's been great for them. He, like I said, he's third Rookie of the Year, and like he's another one that like a lot of other seasons he would probably win it too.
Yeah.
We had a class of really good rookies this year, and unfortunately like people just can't win because we have literally the rookie of the year is damn near one of the best players in the league this season. So it's like, unfortunately,
it's hard not to give it to him.
Yeah, and he's obviously going to have to go through his things. There's times where he can fall into the he can be very inefficient in some games, but that happens. He's a rookie wing on a team that is completely dysfunctional. I mean, that Hornets team has nothing going on for it right now, and he didn't even have a point guard most of the season with LaMelo Ball being out. So I would hope to see LaMelo Ball healthy next season, and what having a point guard could do for Brandon Miller.
I think it could elevate his game.
100%. Yeah, I think it could only elevate his game, and we could look at Brandon Miller in year 2 being a 20-point per game scorer. He was at 17 this year without a point guard.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other thing is that he's going to lose shots because LaMelo Ball obviously demands shots. You know what I mean? But I don't see anybody taking. I think it's going to be LaMelo and then Brandon Miller. Like he's going to be second on the team in shots. I don't think.
You think he's going to clear Bridges?
That's a good point. I kind of completely forgot about Miles Bridges. Thank God. But I mean, that's true. Miles Bridges. I
think it's going to be a fight between Miller and Bridges for the 2 and the 3.
Miles Bridges very, very quietly had a good season. I won't take that away from him. 21 points per game, a little over 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He had a very good game quietly. But I think this team knows Brandon Miller is the future. Yeah. I don't know how long Miles Bridges is even going to be there. I think he just signed his contract in the offseason, though, so he might – or was that this offseason? No, it's only 1 year, worth $7.9 million. So there's a chance Miles Bridges could just walk this offseason, and he goes for something else.
That is true. I thought he was. I thought he had another year or two.
I remember because it's like that whole thing. That whole thing happened with him, and I don't think anybody really gave him a deal. So the Hornets just gave him a 1 year deal to come back. I'm pretty sure that's how it all worked out. But yeah, he's only on a 1 year deal. And the Hornets could look at it and be like, you know what? There's 2 ways the Hornets could look at this. He's 26. He just turned 26 last month. We saw very much time where he could be like we could have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Nick Richards, Mark Williams, whatever, down to 4. Or I'm sorry, the 5. And maybe they're like maybe that's what it is, or they can go. You know what? This guy had a very, very troubled offseason. He played well last season. Maybe this is his time to just leave, go somewhere else. Somebody else give him a bag because we don't want to give him a bag.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted to give him a bag,
they would have.
They could have this past offseason because nobody wanted him. They could obviously it would have had to been like Miles Bridges' management like accepting the contract, but they could have offered him a 3-year deal worth like $8 million per year, like the kind of deal on a 1 year deal. Now Miles Bridges and his management, his team might have been like, no, we're not doing that. We only want the 1 year deal, so he can like kind of bet on himself. But like, if they wanted to lock up Miles Bridges, they could have gave him some type of contract that would have been probably less. It would have. The contract they would have gave him last offseason would be significantly less than they would give him this offseason because he played well this year.
It could also been like a low risk high reward type deal. We give him a 1 year deal, not worth that, or like worth however much it was.
$8 million.
We're not invested in him too far into the future in case he does stink.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he does do good, then we can just bring him back on a longer deal, or we can they even do like a sign and trade with him?
I'm sure they could. Yeah, I'm sure if they give him a contract, they could then
So there's that possibility for the Hornets to do that. But I mean, Bridges had a good year, and I feel like his stock is going up. It's just a matter of if a team wants to bet on him or not.
Yeah, and like I said, they could look at those, maybe make a big 3. I say with quotes on those 3, or you know what? Let's move on from Miles Bridges. Obviously, like they're still a few years away from contending.
Yeah.
They're not going to be good anytime in the next couple of years. By the time they're good, he could be 29, 30. And it's like, okay, like how long is he going to be here for our championship window? You know what I mean? And that's even if it only takes 4 years. It could take longer. This Hornets team, LaMelo could leave, and they're right back to, like, sucking.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if they're going to want to give a contract to a guy that by the end of the contract they're finally getting good, and then they pay him again at 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see with that. That's a lot there. Yeah, we spent a lot of time. We got off on a couple of different tangents there. But
yes, we did.
We went Wemby, Chet, Brandon Miller. That was our three.
Yep.
We'll move on to Defensive Player of the Year. This one's been a lock for a while now. It's Rudy Gobert.
Yep. Rudy Pooty.
Rudy Gobert, he's been great. He's been anchoring one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Stepped up when Cat was out as well on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, that's nothing to do with Defensive Player of the Year, but he did. Last night, he what's today? Today is the 14th. Friday night, he had 25 points and he shot 10 for 10 from the floor and 19 rebounds. I mean, it's just he's averaging about 14 points, 13 rebounds. Where was this? I had his blocks up here, and where did they go? I
think it's in the high 2s, 2.5 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
2.1, about a steal a game. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is very similar stats to like every other one of his DPOY seasons. And like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the Minnesota Timberwolves just being like the best defense in the league. And he is the hub of that, obviously. Kind of like how he was in Utah, like one of the best defense in the leagues because Rudy Gobert is down there in that paint, just stopping everything.
And you could argue that he's got better perimeter defenders now than he did in Utah to help him out a little bit, but
I mean, Mike Conley, pretty good defender. Anthony Edwards has been a better defender this year. Jaden McDaniel is one of the best perimeter defenders. Cat, you got to worry about that. But Naz Reid isn't even that bad a defender. It's like he had good defenders all around him. I think it's part of the reason he's been even better this year. It's because it's like back in Utah, it was like they really didn't have much perimeter defense.
It was kind of just more of a funnel them down to the paint, funnel them to Rudy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just not let them shoot the three. But then once they get past you, let Rudy deal with them.
Exactly. But now Rudy's got people that can actually stop people in a perimeter. So he's not every possession having to stop the paint. And even if the offensive guy gets past his defender, he can go help out. It's like, it's all over the place. And I know there's not really a lot of stats to show this, but if you've watched the Timberwolves, one of the biggest critiques for Rudy Gobert is because people watched that game where he got torched by Terrence Mann because Terrence Mann was sitting on the three-point corner.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert has been better on the perimeter this year. He's still not a great perimeter defender. He's 7'1", he's 7'2". He's not going to be a great perimeter defender.
Yeah.
But he's had moments this year where he's stuck on people on the perimeter. And, like, a guy that's, like, I think on the other side of 30, the fact that he's, like, just now as part of his career getting better as a perimeter defender, it's kind of funny. It's kind of nuts.
It is.
But part of that, I also think, is because I think he trusts this team much more than they did the Utah Jazz. Because, like we said, they have better defenders around him. So Rudy's like, I feel more comfortable stepping out and trying to hold my own because I know I have people behind me that can help.
Yeah, he has more of a trust system in the rotations.
Because, like, in Utah, Rudy Gobert steps outside the paint to guard a three-point line. It's like he's like, okay, I'm out here. Now we have literally nobody protecting the paint. Yeah. Now he can step out and be like, Naz Reid can hold its own. Cat can even hold his own, in the paint. Jaden McDaniels, like you have people where he can feel comfortable stepping out and knowing he has help behind him if he gets beat.
Yeah, 100%. Who do you got at? I feel like the 2 and the 3 race is going to be closer than anyone to Rudy.
I don't even have anybody else. It's been Rudy Gobert for so long that it's far and away Rudy. Obviously, like we'll give love to Vic, like we talked about earlier. He's been great defensively. Yeah. So, who do you have? You said you have multiple people. So
yeah, I got Bam and AD.
Okay, I like that.
What we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say you can go ahead and finish it. I was just gonna say that I feel bad for people like Bam and Anthony Davis, just for the fact of they're two of the best defenders in the league as big man, and they're never gonna get the recognition of DPOY.
Yep, Anthony Davis. I know he had a couple seasons when he was with the Pelicans that he should have either gotten it or he was in contention and he didn't get it because I think Rudy got it or who what I mean.
Rudy, Giannis has a couple. I think Giannis has a couple. He at least has one. That year, Marcus Smart got it. Now you have a guy like Wemby coming in who could win multiple.
Did Jaren Jackson Jr. win one?
I think he did. Yeah, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. got one too. So it's unfortunately, these two centers who are great players are just slightly worse than one of the. I mean, at this point in time, Rudy's going to win his 4th Defensive Player of the Year. He's got to be in the conversation for one of the best defenders of all time. He's got to be.
Yep.
4 depoys. I mean, and like I said, we're projecting a lot with Wemby, but Wemby, based off this rookie season, could be another one of those guys. It's like, unfortunately, they're just playing behind 2 of the best defenders of all time.
Yeah, and they're really good. You know what I mean? Like you said, it just sucks that it's that's happening like this.
They'll get their all defensive teams though. They'll get that nod.
Yeah, I mean Rudy Gobert, he's been a 6-time all defensive player. He's getting 7 this year.
Yep.
He's going to be a 4-time defensive player of the year after this year. He was the block champ in the 16-17 season, and he was the 21-22 rebound champ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got accolades, and I mean, what other players have at least 4 depoys?
Let me look at who has the most depoys. Defensive Player of the Year in NBA history. Ben Wallace and Mutombo are tied for the most with 4. So then Rudy Gobert is going to be then in that conversation this season with 4.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, at that point, depending on what happens next year,
he could, yeah.
We can, in serious talks, depending on what happens with Wemby, obviously. But we could be in a situation to where Rudy Gobert ends up winning his 4th this year, and then just maybe winning a 5th.
He could. I mean, yeah, like I said, how old is he? I think he's on the outside of 30, but he's not. He's 31, so it's like he still has probably 4 to 5 years of like being a dominant inside defender.
Yeah, so I mean, like you could say, like, oh, it's not going to happen. But if we like subjectively look at it, there's a possibility that it happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he gets 5. Yeah, it mainly just depends on what the voting is going to end up being on with Wemby in the next couple years.
Yeah,
because in all seriousness, we could be looking at a guy that could potentially win the MVP and the D-point in the same season. Now, are they going to give him that? Who knows?
Right.
But it's a possibility.
Yeah. I think. We both have Rudy Gobert. I mean, yeah. Let's see here. That leaves just one award left. I mean, obviously the biggest award, MVP, and I'm curious to see if we have the same guy. I think we're gonna have the same top 3, but I'm curious to see who we gave 1.
Who do you got at 1?
I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we're both gonna say who you have winning MVP. Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Jokic. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. All right. I was curious if you were going to have Luka, because I have Luka as number 2.
We probably have the same list. Jokic 1, Luka 2, SGA 3.
Yes, that's exactly my list too.
Yeah. I know some people are throughout the argument for Doncic being 1. And he does have a case. Same thing with SGA. I think SGA played himself out of it.
Yeah.
A little bit, but there's a serious case for Luka to be 1, and you can't go wrong with Jokic or Luka. You know what I mean?
No, you can't.
They're just playing amazingly right now. I know there are some people out there that are like, well, the MVP is the best player on the best team, and they want to throw Tatum out there. I'm not one of them people. I think Doncic, Jokic, and SGA are playing better basketball than Tatum.
I would agree with that, yeah.
I know, Celtics, not a true Celtics fan, sacrilege. No, Tatum is not the MVP this season. And looking at the landscape of the league, depending on if Tatum takes a jump again, I don't think he's going to end up winning an MVP.
It's hard, kind of like we go back with like the depoy situation. It's just there's so many talent in the league. There's so much talent in the league that it's like it's going to be so tough for these players to if you're not one of those top like 5 guys. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough.
Yeah. So I think Jokic gets his 3rd and 4 years.
And I mean, damn near got to look at Jokic. Last season, he played 69 games, nice, and averaged 24.5 points, about a little shy of 12 rebounds, 9.8 assists. This season, played 78 games, averaged 26.5, so 2 more points, 12.3 rebounds, about a half rebound more, and then 9.8 assists, so about an assist less. And let me pull up his shooting percentage here, based off of last season and this season. Where was it at? So he did drop. He went from 63 last year to 58% this year. Okay, all the shooting went down by a couple of percentage, which it is what it is. But what I was going to say is that damn near he's having a better season this year than last year. His shooting percentage went down like a couple percent from both three and the field. But they're fighting for the 1 seed. They're tied for the 1 seed right now.
Yep.
He's so dominant in every facet of the league, and you can't even get on his defense anymore. I know, like early Jokic when he was just kind of breaking out into stardom, it's like, oh, dude's a cone on defense, and I see people still using that same argument now, and it's like, okay, you don't watch the Denver Nuggets play basketball. You don't. If you're still saying Jokic is a cone, you're not watching Jokic.
Jokic is a cone.
All right. No, by no means, I'm not going to say he should be on all defensive team. I'm not saying that he's not one of the best defenders in the league by no means, but he's at least made himself an average defender.
Yeah.
And when you're one of the best, if not the best, offensive center in the league, being an average defender, you just have to deal with it. You know, not too many people are being one of the best offensive centers and the best defense centers. Joel Embiid has been that. Joel Embiid's a guy that's fantastic on both sides of the ball, and I'll be honest with you. If he doesn't get hurt, this might be Joel Embiid's MVP again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think Jokic was robbed last year.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. Jokic won it Embiid won it last year, and then Jokic's going to win it this year. But if Embiid played on the pace he was going to, he would it probably would have got flip-flopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. One of them won it in a year. Probably the other one deserved it. But, yeah, I don't know. He's just, like I said, he's dominant. He's, I mean, like I said, what can't he do in the basketball court? He can score from all three levels. He can pass. He can score. He can do everything. He sets up the team like a point guard when he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was actually, I forget who I was watching, and they were going at like the definition of a point guard to them.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was, but said, like Draymond was kind of like the point guard of the Warriors because he would get the ball, he would get it set up, ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what Jokic is doing. Like, we can label Jamal Murray the point guard, but I feel like to the name, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not the position, but the title.
Right.
I think Jokic is the point guard. You know what I mean? Not the position, the title. You know what I mean? What it means.
Yeah, I get it. I get exactly. You know I mean? He is the point guard of that team.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jamal Murray is the point guard of the team, but like Jokic is the one setting things up, you're running the offense to Jokic most of the time. So I get exactly what you're saying. Now, we both had Luka as our number 2. Luka,
yeah, I mean,
has been nuts.
I mean, he's averaging almost 34 points per game, 9.8 assists, 9.2 rebounds on about 1.5 steals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not shooting the ball bad. He's shooting about 49% from the field, 38% from 3, and about 79% from the free throw line.
And they pretty much locked up the 5 seed.
Yeah.
So I know like a couple weeks ago, the Luka buzz has really picked up the past like month or so. I'd say that's like people are really starting to put Luka in there. And at that point, he was like the 7 seed, the 8 seed. It's like, well, we can't give the MVP to a guy that's in the play-in tournament, which I don't fully agree with, but I can understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Now he's a 5 seed. He's 6 games behind the Nuggets, which is like, okay. But when you look at the Nuggets team versus the Mavericks team, which team is better? The Nuggets. The Nuggets are a better team. They have a better team than the Mavericks have, so it kind of makes sense. Statistically, Luka's outperforming Jokic. So I think it's really close. I'm giving it to Jokic. I think he wins his 3rd. But man, if Luka wins it, I cannot say I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be, I feel like, one of the harder MVP decisions. than in the last couple years,
Mm-hmm.
just because of how Luka has kind of gotten this team. I shouldn't say by himself because obviously they got Kyrie,
Yeah.
but Luka is playing like the alpha dog,
Mm-hmm.
and he's averaging more points than Jokic. Obviously less rebounds, but almost getting 10 rebounds as a guard. Kind of crazy. We haven't seen that since like Westbrook, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The assists, he's almost averaging 10. I mean, he's playing every facet of the game.
He's like a
And I
more
feel,
efficient Russell Westbrook MVP. Like Russell Westbrook MVP season.
yeah,
He's basically doing almost the same thing, just more efficiently.
pretty much. It's great to see. And I can't be mad if he wins it or if Jokic wins it.
Yeah, and of course, I want to throw some praise for Shea's name too. He's been fantastic all season. I mean, for a good part of the season, he was the front runner for MVP. I think the biggest thing is that he kind of has some games later in the season where he struggled, and then he's missed some time. So it's like, again, going back to some of the other awards, recency bias recency bias killed Shea's MVP campaign. Having a couple bad games and then missing time, it destroyed his campaign, and it sucks because he's been deserving for most of the season. Even in the last 3 games he's came back, he had a 40 piece against Sacramento. So it's like even like he's still playing great since he's came back. It's just like I said, missing that time, banked off the couple like say he had like a week or two where he didn't play that well. Let me rephrase that. He played well, just not like MVP Shea level. Like you could definitely see that there was a step back, and then he missed time, and it's like, unfortunately, it's just going to tank his MVP season. But as a guy he's what 20? Yeah, he's 25. He's got plenty of years. Shea's going to get one MVP. I think Shea's going to be one of those guys that he gets his one MVP.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, because I know Thunder fans are definitely definitely like they hate that he's fell out of the conversation, and some of them are pretty butthurt about it and they attack people. So I just wanted to make sure we gave love to Shea. We both really enjoy Shea's game. I think we both like him. Unfortunately, like I said, recency is just gonna destroy his case.
Yeah, it's sad a little bit, but it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're gonna have recency biased in anything and everything.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I guess. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Let's go down. Let's go down and let's give each of our picks for each award, like who we have winning each award. Okay.
Okay.
So MVP, Jokic. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. Sixth Man of the Year, Malik Monk.
Naz Reid.
It's been so long. We've talked about those last couple of awards so long. I kind of forgot about those conversations. Most Improved, Tyrese Maxey. Coach of the Year, Mark Dayton.
Same here.
I ain't saying that name. Clutch Player of the Year, DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar.
All right. Is there anybody?
It's DeMar Hamlin, right?
Oh boy. Okay. Him and Antonio Brown have been going crazy on Twitter. Anyway, is like I said, I think you had something you were about to say before I cut you off there.
I mean, I was trying to find something to look at the possibility of seating scenarios.
Okay.
And go over that really quick, but I couldn't find anything.
Things are pretty well locked up.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying like if like depending on what happens with the Magic, Pacers, 76ers, and Heat, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the Bucks and the Knicks are tied at the 2 seed.
Yeah, well, I mean that's pretty self-explanatory.
The Bucks are playing the Magic, and the Bulls and the Knicks are playing right now. That just ticked off. So there's a chance the Knicks could be the 2 seed if the Magic beat the Bucks and the Knicks beat the Bulls. Which
I mean, it's wild, and now it's more just like for Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
If they drop, what would happen if the Pacers, 76ers, Heat all win and they lose? They drop the whole way down to the 8?
I don't know.
Or do they hold the tiebreak over the Heat?
They might say it's 7. I don't know actually. I don't know how that
I was trying to find something, but I really couldn't find anything. And like, do the Clippers hold the tiebreak over the Mavs if the Clippers lose and the Mavs win?
I mean, either way, they're going to play each other, so I don't think that really matters.
It just home court.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Some people hold that into high value.
I mean, the Lakers, We play the Pelicans today. We have to win to stay at the 8 seed. If not, we could drop down to the 10 seed.
Yeah, and the Pelicans have to win to keep the 6 seed.
Yeah, I guess the Suns could be able to take that, huh? And they play the Timberwolves, so that's gonna be a tough game.
If the Suns win and the Pelicans lose, I think the Suns jump them because they hold the tiebreak, I guess.
The Spurs aren't even the worst team in the West anymore. I didn't realize that.
And, we still got one game to go, I think.
Trailblazers. Oh yeah, and that's right. And Wemby's not playing today, but they're playing the Pistons. So
hey, I mean, we could be looking at a scenario in the East where everyone was shitting on the Pistons for being so bad. The Wizards could finish even worse.
Yeah, and
I should say worse, but below them.
The Trailblazers are playing the Kings, so there's a chance both the Spurs and the Trailblazers just lose, and that won't really matter. Yeah, no, you're right. The Pistons. Oh, like I said, the Pistons are playing the Spurs, so they definitely could beat without Wemby. And the Wizards are playing. Oh, the Celtics.
And I'm pretty sure. The Celtics are not playing any of their starters. They didn't play any of their starters on Friday, and they still won. I think Peyton Pritchard had like 31.
Oh yeah, like you think you guys played the Bulls and beat them?
We might have.
I think it was that lineup. I'm trying to see starting 5: Peyton Pritchard, Ski Mikhailuk, Jordan Walsh, Sam Hauser, and Luke Cornett.
Yep,
that's an all. Oh no, Jordan Walsh isn't. I was gonna say that's an all white lineup, but Jordan Walsh isn't. Yeah, he's still light skinned though. So, sheesh.
I mean, it was a similar lineup that beat who did they buy?
I think it was the Bulls, was it not?
It was the Hornets.
Oh, when did they play the Bulls? I don't know what the hell I was looking at there.
And I mean, they didn't just beat the Hornets; they beat them by like 33.
It's still the Hornets though. Your guys' starting 5 is still probably better than the Hornets with the whole bench.
I mean, our starting 5 against the Hornets was Pritchard, Mikhailuk, Hauser, Jaden Springer, and then Luke Cornett.
But then again, the Hornets' best 2 players, Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller, only played 14 and 15 minutes, so they weren't even. Yeah. They weren't even really that. That was pretty much a game full of bench players.
And Pritchard 31 and 11.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But also, this is like great for the Celtics bench to get these minutes at this time because they're gonna, depending on what goes on, a couple of them could be looked on to play good to decent minutes when it comes playoff time.
Yeah, especially guys like Peyton Pritchard for sure, like Luke Cornett, even Sam Hauser. These guys are definitely gonna, they're gonna be called on in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, was that it? Anything else you want to talk about? That's
about it.
All right. Well, we both shouted out our YouTube channels at the beginning of the episode. So all I'll say is, all I'll say is go down to the link in the description on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, go to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're on YouTube, go to Spotify, leave us 5 stars. That's the best way to support us on there. Get us kind of out there. But if you're on YouTube, go down to the link in the description to W Energy and use code Timeout with J&G. Spell it for him, Levi.
TIMEOUTJG at checkout.
Yeah, for 10% off your order, and that'll go directly to us to help us out. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.